For over 40 years, the Lincoln Club of Orange County has been the preeminent voice for local, state, and national politics in Orange County. The Lincoln Club of Orange County was so named in honor of the 16th president because of his reputation as an outstanding symbol of good government. The organization became part of the political landscape after the 1962 gubernatorial election, and bylaws were adopted in December of that year. It was a business organization that was trying to achieve unity within the Republican Party. Original members included such Orange County notables as Arnold O. Beckman, Colson C. Morris, Robert Beaver, J.S. Fleur, and Walter Knott. The club membership represented a broad spectrum of Republican Party views.
The club was founded by businessmen who wanted to concentrate on business issues. So their goal was to bring a business sense to how campaigns and politics were run. And that was the reason, that was the primary reason the Lincoln Club was founded.
It's not an organization with a litmus test, but if you really think that government ought to be put on a diet, this organization is an organization for you.
These views were discussed openly and involved thorough examinations of all shades of opinion, but at the end of the day, the club presented a unified Republican front to the outside community.
We are highly successful in Republican politics, and I think because the Lincoln Club is a galvanizing force here, helps to explain why Republicans feel so comfortable in speaking their mind and in organizing themselves and in being active.
This was a membership that wanted to unite all Republicans in a solid front in the continuing fight for excellent government through great leadership.
When you come to California, you have to go to the most Republican county not only in California, but in the U.S. And once you get there, you have to touch base with the most significant Republican organization in that county, and that's the Lincoln Club.
Fundamentally, I think the club stands for a common belief that government has a very limited role, particularly in economic matters.
With these principles in mind, the Lincoln Club of Orange County was an early supporter of President Ronald Reagan's political career, assisted in the resurrection of President Richard Nixon, and played pivotal roles in the fortunes of Governor Pete Wilson and Governor George Deukmejian.
300 members of the Lincoln Club are able to come together in common cause and effect outcomes in elections and try to make a difference in our community.
Protecting the free enterprise system is a key part of the responsibility of any of us that have enjoyed success, that have benefited from the free enterprise system. There's no greater or more significant way to give back to the free enterprise system than being involved in organizations whose largely their sole purpose is to protect those kind of institutions.
The club has numerous committees individually focused on various aspects of Republican leadership and issues, and this allows members to bring their personal talents and energies to the organization as an investment in this country's future.
Political campaigns are always looking for people to get involved in the grassroots activity of the campaign, and for those that are a little more astute to become involved in the campaign organization itself.
2 years ago, I also got to work on the campaign of John Thune in South Dakota through the Lincoln Club. I went to a Lincoln Club event for then Congressman Thune, and I raised my hand and asked him a question about how he was going to prevent voter fraud during this election cycle. And he asked me, "Are you a lawyer?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, why don't you come to South Dakota and help me?" And to make a long story short, I spent a week in South Dakota working with his legal team to ensure that it was a clean and fair election, and that was one of the best experiences of my life, something that would not have happened but for my involvement with the club.
The program committee organizes a series of regularly scheduled breakfast, lunch, and dinner meetings which allow members to become aware of political issues and listen to important Republican political leaders.
Well, to me, particularly as chairman of the Orange County Republican Party, the Lincoln Club is the heart and soul of our partnership with the donor community and the activist community.
Someone recently asked me why I continued to spend my time in the Lincoln Club. What was the most compelling reason that I stayed invested in this club? And I said, without hesitation, it was because the Lincoln Club leadership continually and consistently put principles over politics, and that is an essential virtue to me.
Prior to each election, a general meeting is called to provide freewheeling open debate on ballot measures the club should support or oppose.
Well, I think the biggest ones that affect us are regulation and taxes. The tendency of governments historically is just as time goes on to have more and more laws, regulations, and higher taxes supported. And hopefully the Lincoln Club is doing its little bit in slowing this process down, or ideally reversing it.
The Political Action Forum is our celebrated tool for collectively meeting and assessing state and local elected officials and those who aspire to run for office. The Local Elections Committee evaluates records and positions of local candidates and provides recommendations for those candidates embracing the Lincoln Club's philosophy.
You know, there's a variety of beliefs as in any group of people, but I think most of us are in favor of good government, smaller government, pro-business government, government that doesn't do things for you but doesn't get in the way of you doing things for yourself.
Making an impact in critical races. I mean, I know from personal experience they made an impact in my election, and I would not have been elected to the state legislature if it wasn't for the Lincoln Club, their commitment, and their concern about promoting candidates from Orange County. I look at the governor, and in the recall election, the Lincoln Club's commitment to stepping up, making a tough decision, being involved in that recall election early on with early seed money, that's very impactful. And today in politics, a lot of people want to sit back and only put those dollars, put those resources forward on the sure things. But the Lincoln Club has not been like that, and I hope it never will be. Taking chances and doing what's right is very important, and that's part of the history and the legacy of the Lincoln Club.
The Lincoln Club's been willing to step into the fray where others have not dared go. It was amazing. You've heard the term "success has many fathers." We were orphans on the recall. Once the recall was successful, apparently it was everybody's idea.
No, the funny thing is the principles of the club haven't changed in 40 years, nor have the core principles of the country in those 200 years. We try to do, we try to encourage government to be what the founding fathers of this country intended it to be.
People get excited about what we're doing with the Republican Party here in Orange County and making a difference.
You know, the neat thing about the club, it's got a 40-plus year history. I mean, it's gone through the ebbs and flows and the different dalliances of candidates, and the club does not follow the trend. The club sets the trend. And I imagine 20 years from now, they'll still be doing that. Others will come and go, and the seasons will continue to change. The faces will continue to change. The philosophy, I don't believe, will ever change.
You get to know people very well, and we all have common ideas and common beliefs about community, country, family, that type of thing, and we like being around each other. And so for me, by far and away, the best part of being a member has been the friends that I have met, the people I have been associated with within the club.
Limited government, low taxes, free markets, individual liberty, and the rule of law. If these are philosophical principles that inspire you, please join us and become part of the Lincoln Club of Orange County and help us continue to be a part of history and to make a difference.